So forget your sunglasses. Just hang like a little tapestry and then.
Sunglasses.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
We have an entire room, so if the light is too blinding, feel free to choose another seat. You won't, we could do musical chairs throughout the service. At the end of every prayer, find a new one, see if it's a different perspective, how it feels. If there's anyone on live stream, you can't really see that the entire first row is completely blinded by the light, and maybe we should just play that at some point because it seems to be a regular occurrence.
At this time of year.
Yeah, at this time of year. We are very excited to have you all here this evening as we welcome Shabbat in together and as we celebrate with Cooper Cans and his family as you get ready to celebrate becoming bar mitzvah. So hopefully tonight's a little bit of like a warm up to that, a little bit of a chance to just kind of relax. There's been a lot of plans and conversations and emails and details in order to be able to arrive at this weekend. So the goal for this evening is to just kind of take a nice deep breath, to allow ourselves to settle in, to get ready for the amazing Shabbat, God willing, to come. So to get us started, I want to invite the four of you to come on up, David, Kylie, Cassidy, and Cooper, to help us to bring Shabbat in. And so as we light the Shabbat candles, that's actually the official moment when we welcome Shabbat into our lives and into our community. And so though we have plenty of light in here already, we hope that lighting these candles will also bring a little bit more light and peace into our Shabbat this weekend. Thank you, Kylie. Sher kichanu v'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Got to draw straws next time. Thank you so much. I'm going to invite the three of you to have a seat. And Cooper, if you can head on over to Cantor Benjamin on the other side of the bima. And we are going to turn to page 5 as Cooper leads us in the words of Shalom Aleichem.
Yeah. Matov is in the morning. You don't need this.
Yeah.
No.
Probably not.
No.
Yeah.
Jordan might.
Yes,
Not
I've
you.
passed this too.
You heard that. Page 5. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Thank you, Cooper.
Yeah, that's it.
We turn now to page 10 as we continue with Yadid Nefesh.
Yadid nefesh avarachaman meshur chavdach eretzonach yarutz avdach imo Ishtachaveh mul hadarach Ya'erav lu yadidutach minofetzuf v'chotam Adonai Ziv ha'olam Nafshi cholat ahavatach Ana elna refana la beharot la Noam zivach as titchazek v'titrapeh v'haitalach shivkat olam
We turn to page 14, and we're now moving through the section of the service known as Kabbalat Shabbat, which means receiving Shabbat. And so we have this whole part of the service before we get to the evening service, where we're encouraged to kind of figure out what we need to do in order to receive Shabbat, in order to be ready to move into the sacred time that comes at the end of every week, which often means that we are kind of moving through and hopefully out of the hectic time that we have all week long. So for many of us, we may have school, and we have work, and we have sports, and we have practice, and we have dance, and we have all sorts of things that we are running from one day to the next, from morning till night, trying to fit in homework and housework and friends and family and all of the other things. And some weeks it could kind of be a lot, right? And like one day just kind of turns into the next, and it's like we wake up and we open our eyes and think, okay, what's today? What do I have to do? What's on my calendar? What's up next? But then every week we get this gift of Shabbat, where it's a little bit of just like a moment to have at least a very short temporary pause. Maybe we take the entire Shabbat from Friday night to Saturday night, which often feels like a luxury. Or maybe we just take a brief moment when we light candles or come together with our family on a Friday night, or as we sit here in services tonight. And so what I want to encourage you to do is to think back on your week and to let this be a time of kind of checking in, so that we don't just go from one day to the next without noticing where we are or what we've accomplished or what we're doing or what's up next, but to think back and notice all of the things that we're excited about, that we want to take with us and hold with us even as we move into Shabbat and into a new week. Appreciate all that's been good, all that we've learned. Let go of the things that maybe were better off left in this past week and don't need to come with you. And I want to ask if there's anyone who's also moved to share something great that happened this week as you think about each day, as you can kind of in your mind, mentally kind of move through each day. there's anything that was particularly exciting that happened this week that you might want to share with the rest of us, so we too can share in your joy. Ian.
Got 100 on my English test.
Nice. Mazel tov, Jordan.
I realized that I was fluent in Spanish.
Really? How did you realize that?
So there's this girl at my school named Mai, and she's an exchange student.
Uh-huh.
She lives in Spain, in Georgia, Spain. And she was having a conversation with one of my Spanish teachers. I was kind of just sitting there eavesdropping and enjoying it, and we were having a conversation.
It's like no big deal. You're just like a part of it.
Just comes out, yeah. This point.
That's huge, to like get over that wall of like trying to translate everything in your head and just allow yourself to be in it.
The confidence in speaking with native speakers wasn't there, and now it's there, and now I'm good.
That's awesome. Keep it up. It is definitely like if you don't use it, you lose it kind of skill. So find a way. Duolingo something. Thanks, guys. Anyone else? Ian?
Made a national team for soccer.
Did you really?
Yeah.
So what does that mean? It means you need 2 feet to play. Yeah. When would that start? Hopefully not in the next few weeks. Okay, good. Awesome. I can't wait to hear all about it. And like see your name in lights. That's pretty cool. Anyone from the rest of the room have anything to share? Tomorrow there might be a few things. Yeah. Got to take pictures. That was fun. Yeah, that was fun. Anything good in hockey land? Oh, awesome. So not hockey, lacrosse. That's awesome.
Cassie did a great job in the show.
Yeah,
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
that must have been a fun show.
It was.
Oh my goodness. Well, and you're orange, so that's perfect. Did you have to be in Oompa Loompa because you have orange hair? Oh, that's true. They have green hair. Oh, that's true. Okay. That's awesome. So many fun things. Well, I encourage you to continue to think about this question tonight. If there's other things that you want to share with one another as you move through Shabbat, or if you want to express gratitude to someone for a way that they helped you or inspired you this week, and maybe even every Friday night, take that little moment of pause to kind of notice where you are in your week, to allow yourself to put down your to-do list or whatever it is that has been kind of dragging with you all week, and just allow yourself a moment of peace. And it's always going to be there to pick it back up, unfortunately, but you deserve a moment of Shabbat. We're going to continue on page 14 at the red arrow.
Yismechu hashamayim,
Hashamayim,
Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tayeh haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tayeh haaretz. Yeram hayam, yeram hayam, yeram hayam, umelu. Yeram hayam, yeram hayam, yeram hayam, umelu.
We turn ahead now in our Siddur to page 23, and I want to invite Cooper to come on back up to the bima to help lead us in Lecha Dodi as we get ready to symbolically welcome the Sabbath as if she were a queen or a bride.
Lecha dodi
Likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmi'anu el ham yuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem v'tiferet l'thilah.
Lecha
Lecha
dodi
dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei P'nei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha dodi likrat chala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'neilcha, Ki hi mekor habracha, Berosh mikedem nisucha, Sov maaseh b'machshava tefillah.
Lecha,
Lecha,
Dodi,
Dodi, Lecha, Dodi, Likrat Kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha, Dodi, Likrat Kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Mikdash melech ir melucha, Kumisa'im mitocha hafecha, Rav lach shevet be'emek habacha, Vehu yachamol alayich ela.
Lecha,
Lecha,
Dodi,
Dodi, Lecha, Dodi, Likrat Kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha, Dodi, Likrat Kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela.
We turn to page 25 and continue with the second verse.
Yamin usmol tifrotzi, V'et Adonai taritzi, Al yadish ben partzi, V'nismecha v'nagila.
Lecha,
Lecha,
Dodi,
Dodi, Lecha, Dodi, Likrat Kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha, Dodi, Likrat Kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela.
I invite you to rise and face the door as we symbolically welcome our Sabbath Queen.
Bo'ii v'shalom ateret ba'ala, Gam b'simcha u'b'tohola, Toch emunei am sigula, Bo'ii kala, Bo'ii kala.
Lecha,
Lecha,
Dodi,
Dodi, Lecha, Dodi, Likrat Kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha, Dodi, Likrat Kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela.
You may be seated. Thanks, Cooper. We turn to page 27 as we join together for the Psalm for Shabbat.
Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat, tov lehodon Adonai, lezamer shemcha yom v'yigru v'zercha v'lecha v'lo l'sei
We come back together again at the red arrow on page 28.
Tzadik ata ma'yifrach ke'erez balvanon iskeshetulim b'veit Adonai b'chatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun b'seva deshenim v'radanim iyun lehayin yeshar Adonai tzuri tzuri v'lo avlatabo.
We turn ahead now to page 39, and I invite you to rise again if you're comfortable and able to do so, as we move into the Baruch together, which officially moves us into our evening or Mariv service. You're good, stand up. Come on.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch levarach lelam va'ed.
You may be seated.
Baruch Adonai Moshe Rabbeinu Melchok Moshe Rabbeinu Mochalif Azmanim Azadar Chavim Moshe Tamari Kerikus and Avim Chosh Mipnei Or Umavir Yom Mevin Laila Mavdil Min Yom Mevin Laila Adonai Tzvaot Shema Chai V'Kayam Tamidim Lochan Leila Lelam Va'ed Baruch Adonai Hamari Varavim.
Amen. We continue on the top of page 40 for Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam Bet Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu B'shofeinu uvkumeinu Nasiach bechukecha V'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha Uv'mitzvotecha Le'olam va'ed Ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu V'yorech yameinu Uvahem negeh yomam v'layla Yomam v'layla Yavadcha al Tzir Medali Elamim Baruch Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Amen. We turn to page 41 and invite Cooper and Cassidy to come on up to help lead us in Shema and B'Ahavta.
Yeah, you're gonna need that. No seesaws. Middle. No, I don't understand.
Okay.
There you go.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Avta, Adonai Elohecha, B'chol levcha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol meodecha, v'hayu Hadivarim ha'ele, asher anuhi sabeha, hayom al levaneha, v'shiratam levaneha, v'dibarta bam, v'shideha v'beiteha, u'lekteha maderet, v'shokteha u'kumeha, Ushatam leod al yodeha, v'hayot patafot b'neineha, u'tartam al mezuzot beiteha, u'v'yisareha.
We continue silently on page 42. Thank you both.
Adonai Elohechem emet.
We turn to page 44 as we get ready to move into the words of Michamocha. And as we sing these words, we're reminded of the song that Miriam sang and led all of the Israelites in as they crossed the sea and fled slavery in Egypt. And so every time we encounter these words in our liturgy, hopefully it reminds us to be grateful for our freedoms and to find ways to celebrate that and be grateful in our lives.
ומלכות ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים בני ישראל לכל אשר בשמחה רבה ויאמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נודעתי לא תוסיף אלה מלכותך רובנך בוקעים לפני משה זל אנו ויאמרו Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed v'ne'emar ki vada Adonai et Yaakov u'golo mi'et chazak mimenu Baruch et Adonai Ga Yisrael.
We turn to page 45 for Hashkivenu. And Hashkivenu is a prayer that we recite every evening as a way to focus on the ways in which we might be asking God to ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, to spread out a shelter of peace over all of us, over the entire world, and over Jerusalem and Israel. And so as we move into this prayer tonight, I do want to hold in our hearts the land and the people in the vicinity of Israel. There's been a lot going on these past few days with rockets flying, with much gratitude to the Iron Dome, which is mostly working. But a rocket did get into Rehovot, and so far at least one Israeli man has died, and dozens of Palestinians in the process as well. And so we will also pray for peace in Israel tomorrow morning. But we do especially hold those in that region in our hearts as we say these words tonight. So there are a lot of different melodies that we can attach to our prayers. Some that have come down, feels like from Sinai. They've been in the Jewish world for eons, and ones that we grow up with and our grandparents grow up with, and we've been saying all along, and that feels so meaningful to connect with those melodies that we've passed on from one to the other. And sometimes melodies are written every day. There's all of these Jewish contemporary musicians. We're going to sing some pieces later of those that were written more recently to kind of raise up some of our text so we focus on it and notice it in a different way. And sometimes we might find melodies that inspire us in our lives from, within and outside of the Jewish world. And we can sort of pair and mash up some words from our lives with some words from our Siddur. So the Hebrew that we'll be raising up are these 4 words, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, that when things get bad, that we invite God and we pray that God can spread that sukkah of peace over all of us, over all of Israel, and over the entire world, and that God willing, everything's going to be all right. Everything's right. So just hold tight. Everything's right, 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 so just hold tight. Just hold tight. This world, this crazy world I know, it turns, and the long night's over, and the sun's coming up. This world, this crazy world I know, it turns, and the long night's over, and the sun's coming up, 'cause everything's right, so just hold tight. 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 Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. 'Cause everything's right, so just hold tight. 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 Just hold tight. That's the first time Kendrick Benjamin ever played guitar here for us. Woohoo! It's also the first time that we did fish, yes. You inspired us. It was what?
Props. Mad props.
Shall we Hatima and then move along?
Yeah.
ושמרתי תנו בוהן לחיים ושלום יתביע עולם ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
Amen. We turn to page 46 and invite Cooper to come on back up to the bima to help lead us in Vishamru.
Yes.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam
Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam oti le'olam oti le'olam Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam Yisheshen yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam Ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam.
Yikidal v'yikida shemei rabba
Amen.
v'alva divra v'kirte mahute v'yamlich mahute
V'chayechonu v'yomechon uv'chayedecho be'Yisrael Ba'agala u'bizman kariv
v'yimeru
Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach li'olam li'olmei olmaya yibarach
Yiparach v'yishtebach v'yitrama v'yitrava yar v'yitnaseh v'yadar v'yitale v'yitala shmei d'kudsha
Brichu
li'ela min kol b'yerachta v'shirata
Tushbechata v'nechemata Tamiran bi'alma
v'yimeru
Amen. We turn now to page 47 for our Amidah. And in the evening, we have an opportunity to say the words of the weekday Amidah silently. And so in a moment, I will invite you to rise, and then you can move through the words of the Amidah, either in Hebrew or in English, or take in some of the poetry on the side. And we'll go from 47 to 52, or simply just use this as a moment for some of your own quiet reflection. Please rise. Okay. I know. I hate that feeling. We'll conclude together with a prayer for peace.
Say shalom bimramav, say shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Say shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, say shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Amen.
Now that you've all gotten comfy and seated again, we're going to turn to page 53, and I'm going to invite you to rise once again for our repetition of the Amidah. Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzivam vayechal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i vayikadesh oto kivo Shabbat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu v'Imoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Konei Shamayim v'Haaretz Magen Avot Bidvaro Mechaye Metim Be'amaro Ha'el HaKadosh She'en Kamohu Hameniach Li'amo B'yom Shabbat Kodsho Kivam Ratza Lehaniach Lahem Kivam Ratza Lehaniach Lahem Lefanav Navor B'ira Ufachad V'nodeh Lishmo B'chol Yom Tamid Me'on HaBrachot El HaHodaot Adon HaShalom Mekadesh HaShabbat Umevarek Shvi Umeniach B'kedusha Le'amidu Shnei Onei Zecher L'maaseh V'Reishit. Page 54. Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imoteinu, Ritzei v'Imnuchatenu, Kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha, V'ten chalkeinu b'toratecha, Sabenu mitzuvecha, V'samchenu b'shuatecha, V'taher libeinu, li'avdecha be'emet, v'hachilenu, Adonai Eloheinu, b'ahava uvratzon, Shabbat kodshecha, V'yanuchu v'Yisrael, Mikadeshei Shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat. continue with Kaddish Shalim.
יגדל וירשמי רבה, ויאמני ורחמתי ומחמחותי בחייכנו וימיכנו ובחיית כל בית ישראל, בגלז מגורי ויאמרו, אמן יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם לימי המיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ותרום ויעשה ויתהדר ויתעלה וישלש מדורשע בריחו ויעלה מכל ברכתו וישורת ותשבחתו ונחמתו מהרה מימה ויאמרו אמן תקבל צלוד הוריות וחודך ישראל קודם אדוני ושמי ויאמרו אמן יהי שלום רב אמין שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן עשה שלום ורמה ויעשה שלום עלי ועל כל ישראל קדש ודבר ויאמרו
Amen. We
Amen.
remain standing and turn to page 55, and I invite Cooper to come on up and help lead us in Kiddush.
Can't make Kiddush without the cup.
It is gracious.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitovotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho b'hava uvratzon hinhelanu zikaron l'maaseh bereshit. Ki hu yom
Techila
Mikrae Kodesh, Zecher Litziat Mitzrayim, Kivanu Bacharta, V'yotanu Kidashta, Mikol Hamim, B'Shabbat Kodshecha, Yahava Uvratzon, Inchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
Just kidding, you don't have to drink the whole thing.
You can drink the whole thing. You may be, exactly. You may be seated.
He's the first person to ever take me whispering chug, seriously.
Watch out.
Yeah.
Watch out, parents. So at this time, I invite you to turn to page 63 because we are currently in a period known as the counting of the Omer. So from the second Seder, from the second night of Passover, all the way through to Shavuot, which begins right before Memorial Day this year, we have a tradition, a mitzvah, of counting every single night. And so what it means to count is literally to say the blessing that you see on page 63, and then to say what day is today. We're counting off 49 days, and then when we get to the 50th, that is Shavuot. And we can fulfill the blessing simply by saying those words, just a quick blessing and the counting, which is like great to get your mitzvah points very easily in the day just by saying that blessing. But as with any blessing and as with any mitzvah, it is also nice to bring some intention to that and to really think about what we're doing and why we're doing it. So in this case, what it means to be counting these days. And you know, if we think back even just in our own lives to where we were around Passover time, you know, where were you in the world? What was going on in your lives? How is it that you have spent all of these days from then up until now? And how do we hope to spend these next few days and these next couple of weeks before we get to Memorial Day? It's a good reminder to kind of really focus on how we're spending our time. And we also have in our tradition, the Kabbalists attached different emanations of God to every week and to every day. And so as we do that, on the one hand, it's sort of a reminder for the ways in which we are always trying to create unification of the disparate parts of ourselves and God and the world, and also to kind of like reach up from our lowly places like down here to something a little bit higher that is like hard to reach, and some of it is absolutely unattainable, but maybe we can kind of move through and get glimpses of some of the other awesomeness of God in the world in particular moments. And so the Kabbalists assign a particular week and a particular day as we're moving through. So I want to invite us to say this blessing together And then I'll tell you a little bit about the particular day that we're in and the week and kind of how it is that we're moving from one to the other. And as we do that, in order to get ready, there is a beautiful melody that was written by Rabbi Shir Yaakov Fait, Yosef Goldman, and Zach Friedman to help us to kind of fully get ourselves ready and to get into the mindset of allowing ourselves to count the Omer. And so hopefully it's a way to kind of remind us of, actually we just read it last week in Torah, this reminder that we're supposed to count the weeks. But rather than just fulfilling like the baseline simple mitzvah of it, hopefully the melody will also help us to kind of take a little time to notice the ways in which we've been making each day count. So it's in your pamphlet if you want to follow along on the bottom if you have one. If you don't, no big deal. But we're going to sing those words there, and then we will be on page 63 for the blessing, and then we will be on page 69 for when we count the day. So, it goes like this. L'shem yichud, kudsha brichu ushchinte, hineni muchad umezuman, lekayem mitzvah ta'aseh, shel sfirat ha'omer, shel sfirat ha'omer, shel sfirat ha'omer, shel sfirat ha'omer, Sheva Shabbatot, Temimot tihena, Sheva Shabbatot, Temimot tihena, Al sfirat ha'omer, Al sfirat ha'omer, Al sfirat ha'omer, Al sfirat ha'omer. Now the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, page 63. Eloheinu melech ha'olam.
Last two lines.
Asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer, al sfirat ha'omer, al sfirat ha'omer, al sfirat ha'omer. Now we turn to page 69, and we are at the second one down on ER 22. Hayom Shiva Shloshim Yom Shehem Hamisha Shavuot Ushnei Yamim LaOmer. Today is 37 days, which makes 5 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. So we are marching our way to the other side. And today, you can see on the left-hand side of the page that we are in the week of Yesod, which means foundation. That's our Omer counter that we found hiding in the closet of BTBJ, which is so cool. So now we keep count. So this is the week of Yesod, which means foundation or strength. And we are at the intersection of the week of Yesod and the day of Gevurah. So we're sort of at this like intersection of strength and connection. So there is a piece that was written by Dr. Therese Johnson, who says about this intersection of these two different elements of God and the world. She writes this: trust the light within you, even during the darkest moments of your life, when it barely flickers, when there is no energy to spark a flame, when the closest to you desert you, when you need them the most, when trust is no longer. Be steadfast in your discipline to living the best life you possibly can. During times of scarcity, during times of pain, during times of betrayal, or during times of longing. Honor your commitment to loving yourself and not giving up on life. Be disciplined to do what is needed to end the hurt in your life and the feelings of insecurity. End destructive thoughts and patterns. End unhealthy situations and relationships. Be committed to loving you, to surviving, to no longer being a victim. Be a person of discipline and love, a person of peace, a person of purpose. Exemplify your discipline by breathing each moment and living each day like it could be your last. Hold on to your life, cherish your heart, and be committed to loving you. Though we might face many challenges each and every day, may we always hold on to what is holy and true in ourselves, knowing that we are capable and we are strong and we can move through so much more than we even believe to be true, and so that we can be rooted and strong each day and take on whatever life has in store for us. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so now we turn back in our Siddur to page 56, and I invite you to rise again for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'teitidu l'aliotzer reshit shelo asad gigoye haratzot v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama shelo sam chokenu kahem v'yor aleinu kechohamonam אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad.
You may be seated. We turn now to page 58 for Kaddish Yatom, for the mourner's Kaddish. And this week in our community, we observe the yard sites and we remember Carol Baldridge, Esther Blyman, Joseph Bloom, Nettie Bransky, Hyman Diamond, Annette Einhorn, Solomon Eisbart, Sandra Friedman, Katie Lichtenstein, Arthur Lorch, Ralph Miller, Inga Oppenheimer, Babel Sattler, Betta Schwartz, Ruthie Schwartz, Rose Siegel, Paul Solomon, Pearl Tadras, Ethel Udell, and Ned Weisswasser. We also send our condolences to Jamie Mitchell on the passing of her father, Marvin Mandel. And as we remember Ruthie Schwartz, if you walked in today, you may have seen that we're under a bit of construction here at BTBJ, which I'm actually told should be all wrapped up, I think, by Tuesday, which is unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah. That's what Val said, that the pavers go in. They might be working on Sunday too, but I think the pavers go in on Monday and then all the landscaping on Tuesday. And so this is thanks to two generous gifts in memory of some different folks in our community. And so the patio is in memory of Herb and Jeannie Gallup. And the garden, it'll be a Simcha garden in memory of Ruthie Schwartz, who was a pillar of this community and was here for lots of learning and for many years just participated in everything. And so she passed away during the pandemic. It was a couple of years ago. Yeah. So this will be a beautiful way to honor her and remember her every day, not just on her yard site. So I invite those who might be in a period of mourning or observing a yard site to please rise, along with all those whom it might be your custom to rise in support of the mourners, or for those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. Page 58. Yitzkadal, Yitzkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bialma, Divra, Kirute, Viamlich, Malchute, B'chayechon, Uviomechon, Uchaye, Zechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach leolam elomei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha brichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the one who creates peace on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all who dwell on earth. And we say together, amen.
Amen.
So we are moving toward the end of our service now. So we will close with a final blessing. And I look forward to seeing you all back here tomorrow morning at 9:30. Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's hard to be a high school student and be somewhere ready to go at 9:30. Well, you'll come when you come. Your honor's not till later. I didn't say that. What? Your what? I said your honor. Well, that too. I don't know. I mean, if that's what it takes to get you here, then we can talk at some point, and I can make some arrangements. I have a friend who's a matchmaker. You know, we can talk.
That is a show on Netflix now.
I know, and featuring some local people.
Yes.
So it's cool. 9:30, we will come back together to celebrate Shabbat again and celebrate with Cooper and your family. And so I look forward to seeing you then. We have a number of things coming up here at BTBJ in the next couple of weeks. There is a Sisterhood movie night here on Monday night at 6:30, which should be a lot of fun and interesting. It's like it's a great story. And then Wednesday is actually Hey Move Up Day. I can't believe we're like at the end of the year here already with all of these things. And our annual meeting, which all are welcome to, yay, is Thursday, May 18th. So feel free to join us if you'd like. Sometimes we live stream it. I don't know if we're doing that this year. I think it might all be in person. And then next weekend we'll be back here again to celebrate the bat mitzvah of Alex Steinberg. But on Sunday, May 21st, on Sunday, May 21st, that whole patio experience that I was just mentioning is going to be dedicated, along with many other things around our community, as we all come together in a really big, fun community day. So it will be the last day of religious school for those who come on Sunday, but it will also be a chance where we actually will have a Shabbat morning service with a Torah service because it's Rosh Chodesh. And we'll be honoring some different folks in our community all morning long, including high school and college graduates, if we know any of those. High school and college graduates. So
Soon
feel
to be.
free to come and get a special gift and a little bit of a blessing that morning. And then after we have our service, there's going to be a dedication of everything outside. We're going to begin to install the tiles that we've been making for the last few weeks onto the mosaic wall. There's going to be pizza, there's going to be games, I think there's going to be music. So just stop, you could come for some, come for all. Let us know if you're coming so we have enough pizza and enough gifts for our high school students and college students. But we hope to see you there if you're around on Sunday, May 21st. It should be a really fun way to kind of wrap up this programming year, even though we still have much to go. We know that our
month of bar and bat mitzvahs afterwards.
many, yeah, but our religious school is ending, and so that is sort of like a little bit of a moment to mark.
Yes.
So we hope to see you there. So I invite you now, before we head on out this evening, to turn to page 75. Every Friday night we have an opportunity for parents to bless children and for us to bless one another. So if you have loved ones near you, you can feel free to put your arms around them if that's a thing you like to do. You can also just think about those that you love in your life and send this blessing to them, even if it is from afar. May God bless you and protect you. May God's face give light to you and show you favor. May God's face be lifted toward you and bestow upon you peace. Amen. Shabbat shalom. See you tomorrow.